Welcome back to Bama Bang. Today's episode, EDC, Everyday Carry. We're going to be looking at what I carry every day, what I recommend others carry, and the practicality. I'm very practical. I don't always go for the most expensive. I go for what works and what makes sense. A lot of people carry, multiple pounds worth of gear. It seems like they have gizmos and gadgets they pull out of all corners. I'm not that person. So we're going to look at a practical EDC today, so stick with us. Okay, is my EDC equipment. Obviously I don't carry all of this equipment every day. I take a collection of these and create my everyday carry. Like a lot of people, you have winter carry, summer carry when you don't have maybe as much cover or jackets to hide things or carry things in. But my common everyday carry consists of these items, and so now we'll go into detail about every single one of them. Okay, first item on the list is your phone and your phone carrying case. I don't know if you're like me, but most of us, especially with work or what have you, use our phones a lot. So a way of carrying it, besides just having it in your pocket with your keys, your knife, flashlight, all the other things you may be carrying, is very important. So I have a case like this. It's a very cheap case. I don't even think it has a brand name. I think I picked it up at Dollar General for like $7. Been very pleased with it. I've been using it for about 2 years. You can see it's got some frayed edges on the side. I thought the magnetic closing would wear out over time, but it hasn't. Just have a simple LG Optimus, I'm not sure, 4 or 5 that I use there, but pretty impressed with this case. By the time it wears out, I'll just go buy another one for the same amount. It's got an adjustable, I guess you could put it at a cant if you really wanted to. I just run it like that. And there is some give there, but that's to be expected after 2 years of use. But that's what I use to carry my phone on my belt. We're kind of going through these things in the amount you use them every day. I wouldn't say you actually use your ring, but I put it on every day without thinking about it. So just want to talk briefly about it. It's 14 karat gold. Some people who live very active lifestyles, recommend you go with tungsten carbide, or I think now they even have the silicone rings for athletics or people who are afraid of damaging their real ring and they just wear their silicone ring. I'm kind of a traditionalist, and I like the traditional gold wedding band. So that's simple, but it's what it is. Next in order of use, I guess you might say, is my watch. I carry a Timex. It's the triathlon series of Ironman, but this is the shock version. It's supposed to be more shock resistant than their other watches. Really like these watches. I've bought 2 or 3 in a row. The weak point of this watch is going to be your banding right here. I find I use my watches, I almost have them on all the time, unless I'm just going to be doing something that could absolutely destroy these things. I've got them on. And I still find that the average life of these bands is about a year and a half, and that's really the only weakness of this watch. Really like the fact it's got the chrono timer that I guess you counts up, another timer that counts down. You get an alarm. Some of these have multiple alarms. Their resistance in water up to 200 meters. I've swam with this thing in the Caribbean when we went down there. You have your traditional glow and everything like that. Just fantastic watches. I highly recommend them. The only thing, like I said, is the banding will dry rot, I guess you might say, over time. If they could figure out a way to more easily replace those, why would you spend unreal amounts of money on a watch when this is what you need it to do? So it's shock resistant, it's water resistant, and it gives you your basic functions. I think this runs somewhere between $35 and $40. So replacing this once every year and a half is not going to break the bank, as opposed to going out and buying a watch that's basically has the same functions. And will it really last under tremendous use as well as one of these? Maybe, maybe not. Leave your comments below, but this is the watch that I use in my EDC. Alright, next item on the list is my wallet, which also has an integrated money clip. I've always liked a money clip, but I never saw the use of carrying cash on a money clip and then also separately having a wallet for all your cards. So this is made by Alpine Swiss. Been running this for about a year and a half and very impressed with it. It's got, as you can see, 3 spots here for cards. It's got a space in here for cards. In the middle is more space for cards. On the front side you can have your license, which is easily removable like that. Very impressed with this. Very good quality. I think I paid $10 or $11 for this on Amazon. Would highly recommend it to anyone. Only thing you have to remember is not very fun to sit on. So I have to carry this in one of my front pockets, which I like doing, but for EDC and what we're talking about today, that's prime real estate. So that's where your knives, where your flashlights, where your pens go, and that's something that's taking up a spot something else could be taking up. So that's something you have to keep in mind, especially with the type of pants that you buy, the pockets that you have on the side of your pants, etc. Where are you going to place all your items if you have a complex EDC? But excellent job, Swiss Alpine, on this wallet with the integrated money clip. Okay, the next item in my EDC, and if you're quantifying how much I use each one, is my flashlight, especially in these times of the year where it gets dark early in winter time. I'm using this all the time to get in and out of the house, to find my keys, you know, what have you, working outside the other night. This is a great flashlight. You may be asking, well, why aren't you running an O-light, an S1 baton? Why not something smaller? It takes up less real estate when you're carrying it. Well, part of the reason is this runs on the AA. And if you're ever in a situation where you need to find more batteries and you can't recharge, if you have one of the O-lights that's rechargeable, or you have to replace it with a CR123, I would much rather be looking for a AA or AAA battery. I've been extremely impressed with the rugged ability of this flashlight. I've dropped it. You can see a little bit, it's frayed a little bit on the edge, but I've had this for about 3 years. No complaints. It has 1 to 4 magnification by just twisting here. Its runtime is about 2 hours if you just run it straight. It's about 180 lumens, 6.5 on strobe, and of course the strobe, by just barely tapping the back there, goes to strobe. I also really like this clip that you see here on the front. I would rather it sit a little lower in the pocket, but I also like the fact that there's a reverse side to it. So the other night when I was working outside, I just hooked it onto my baseball cap. Very good retention. No qualms, no complaints about this flashlight, and you can get it for $20 or less. Okay, the next items on my list are my pocket knives. I don't use a pocket knife as much as a lot of people, but I still typically carry one because you never know when you're going to need them. Typically I carry the Benchmade Mini Barrage. It's got the locking mechanism here on the back for carrying it in your pocket. You just go back like that, and then it's assisted opening. Been very impressed with this knife. Haven't had it a whole long amount of time, about 2.5 months, but been extremely impressed thus far. No qualms there. About $120 on that knife. No serrations. I don't think I need them. On Sundays, I typically carry a case trapper. Very simple knife, more elegant. You don't have to see the clip, even though the knife rides very low, and I like how the clip is. I'd rather not do that when you're in, at church on Sunday. So I like something you can just throw down in your pocket with your keys. You don't have to worry about it. These case trappers are great knives. Got the bone handles, very elegant. That's typically what I run on the weekends. Next item on the EDC carry list is a relatively new item. It's a present I got for Christmas, and it's a survival bracelet basically. You've got the paracord braided around, which makes the bracelet, and then on the top you have a survival whistle, a little saw here. If you break it open, you actually have a fire starter. I haven't reviewed that. I don't know how. I wouldn't assume any of this is extremely durable. And you also have a compass. One interesting thing is when it's closed, the metal in the saw, I've noticed, attracts your compass. So it won't work until you actually release it like that, and then it will point to true south, north and south. Which is kind of interesting, but it's just good to know if you're gonna... Don't know who makes this, but they're out there. You can find them on Amazon. And the emergency whistle, if you ever need it, I mean, it's pretty loud. So this is kind of a neat thing to have on you. If you ever need the cord, you're ever in an emergency situation, you have it on you, and you can turn it over so people just see this cord, or you can run this on the front. It doesn't matter. But I typically run this on my right hand where I have my watch on the left. So just a little survival bracelet that I've added to my EDC, and I like it. And finally, in the EDC carry, hopefully something I'll never have to use, and I think everybody who conceals carry should be of the same mindset, is your firearm or your concealed carry pistol. For me, I typically carry the LCP2, which has come out recently. Really like it. Fantastic firearm, 380 ACP. Comes with this little Ruger, it's almost like a sticky holster. Comes out of your pocket. Well, it goes into your pocket and it's supposed to stay in your pocket as you pull the pistol out. The thing I like about the Ruger LCP, it's just so low profile. You can take it anywhere, you just forget about it. It's a fantastic pistol. Last year, actually I had to shoot a deer, had to put a deer down that ran into my truck and was terribly wounded on the side of the road. But it works fine. It's a great pistol. Highly recommend it for EDC. Haven't had any complaints. Runs flawlessly. Extremely ergonomic. I have another video of the LCP2 on the channel if you want to see the full review on it, but that's the Ruger LCP2. And finally, in the winter time, if I'm feeling like it, I occasionally carry the Smith & Wesson Shield chambered in 9mm, and I'll typically carry it either in the appendix carry, or you can also remove this clip and just throw it in your coat pocket. This is typically for, I know it's not difficult to conceal carry the Shield, but it is heavier. Everything's heavier when you compare it to the Ruger LCP. And once you go to that size, unless you have a reason for carrying something bigger with some more capacity or a higher caliber, it's very hard to go back, in my opinion. But I typically carry it either in the appendix or occasionally in the alien gear holster at the 4 o'clock position. But again, excellent firearm. There's thousands of videos out on this if you're interested in this pistol. But again, just a wintertime option for my EDC. Okay, so this was our EDC video. Some of the most difficult things I find when it comes to EDC is because obviously I don't carry all of this equipment all of the time. And most of the time it's because of pocket space. That wallet having to be in your front pocket. Sometimes I can put my pocket knife in my back pocket. I found the pants that work best for me are often carpenter. I'm not a big fan of the hammer loop, but I am a fan of the side pockets that are typically halfway down your leg on the right side. You can use for a pen or an extra magazine or a flashlight. I'm big into pockets and where they're located. I would rather have a change pocket or a pocket watch pocket in the right side. I can oftentimes place things in those locations, and it helps me carry this gear more consistently. So if you know of any good tactical pants that work for you, you can leave a comment in the section below, and also comment on what equipment you carry and why. And I'm always looking to upgrade and change my EDC because I'm all about practicality. So leave a comment in the section below, and this is Bama Bang signing out.